Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
And we're Eastside Vibes. I'd like to say that we're doing something a little different today, but considering we cover a lot of R&B on this channel, I wouldn't say it's that different. But I don't think that these artists are people that you would have really heard of before.
No, I just, when you brought up Anderson Paak, then I was like, oh, I know who he is.
He performed at the Super Bowl, and he had that group with Bruno Mars.
Right.
So I figure you would have heard of who Anderson Paak is. Oh, we're doing Anderson Paak and Knxwledge's album Why Lod under the name Nxworries, which is like their group name. But yeah, I knew that you would have kind of known who Anderson Paak is.
Right.
But I figured you wouldn't know who Knxwledge is.
No, I had to look him up.
And yeah, Knxwledge is pretty cool because he's not like a traditional producer, I would say.
Right.
Like, he's known more for his mixes. Actually, stuff I would think you would like to get on vinyl and listen to.
Okay.
You know, cool hip hop mixes. That's what he's known for, and not for actually producing for artists.
Okay.
But he did produce an artist for Anderson Paak.
Right.
What, about 8 years ago?
Okay, yep.
Called Nxwledge, I think.
Yes.
Under the name Nxworries. And this was when neither of them were very famous at that time.
Okay.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that Anderson Paak going on tour with Earl Sweatshirt for this tour is kind of what got him into the industry.
Okay.
And after that, he really pushed his way in. And now it just had a different path.
Okay.
Obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
Not traditional mainstream music.
Right. I like that Anderson Paak isn't just committed to one band, one thing. He puts his out there, he did the Bruno Mars band but he puts himself up there with other people and things like that. I mean, a lot of people do, but I just like that he's not stuck in one spot.
I think he's re-releasing his debut album Malibu this summer, and then he's going on tour with his band to promote that re-release.
Okay,
so that would actually be pretty cool to see because
definitely.
You can tell just by listening to this, if you don't know about him, that he's probably very good live.
Right. Oh, can you imagine? So the comment you said very good live. I said this whole album made me feel like I was in a old-fashioned jazz bar, and everybody's sitting at a booth with a mixed drink and smoking, and you can see the smoke waving in the air because you're just kind of laid back listening to it. It's not moving around. It's just a very vibe attitude.
A lot of those those kinds of albums with that kind of music, or those kinds of clubs even, will have artists, or the main artist will be the drummer, the I don't know, the leader of the band, and the singer is the drummer in a lot of jazz bands, and he's the drummer. That's right. So he kind of does feed into that idea.
Yeah, they said that. What is his genre? I think they said his genre is R&B, soul, and hip hop, whereas Knxwledge's genre is jazz, soul, and old school hip hop. So the fact that they threw jazz in there really made me think that he had a big part. Knxwledge had a big part in how this was going to come out.
I don't know if I would completely say that Anderson Paak has a genre.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree.
He's been in a lot of genres. He's always done that. But I will say that a lot of his stuff is definitely jazz influenced. You can always hear that in his music.
Right. Well, I can't remember what Bruno Mars song it was, but it was very bluesy and jazzy, and it was one of his popular songs with him. And I was like, all right, I get the vibe.
One of the reasons I originally got into Anderson is because of his work with Mac Miller. Okay. And that was when Mac Miller started to switch to the jazzy hip hop sound. Cool. So it was definitely very influenced by this guy.
Oh, 100%.
It had to have been.
Do you think Knxwledge was part of that too, or no?
I don't know if they were,
together at
that point? I mean, I'm sure they knew each other because they were both
in the industry.
Coming up in the industry together. But so as far as this album, My Lord, I kind of missed it when it came out. I knew it was coming because I'd seen a couple of the singles. But when it was came out a few weeks ago, I just overlooked it. There was other stuff that was coming out that I wanted to listen to, like the Charlie XCX, for instance.
Right.
And I think it might have come out the same weekend as Billy.
Okay.
And, yeah, I just overlooked it. But I kept seeing really good reviews for it online. Like, multiple people saying, like, go listen to this.
All right.
And I'm really into Anderson, so I'm like, I knew I was going to come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I listened to it and reviewed it for my blog, I figured I would try to get you to listen to it because I thought you might like this kind of music, this style of this like classic R&B. So yeah, that's why I picked this one, because it does feel like a kind of completely different direction from what we've been doing lately.
Definitely.
I thought we would switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, if any of you
calm things down.
Yeah, for those of you who listen to our other videos, this one is like complete. It's like a 180.
Yeah,
you're
from
gonna
what
listen
we've been
to this
doing
and go,
lately.
wait, what? But,
yeah, it's a lot more soft for sure.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, like we always do, we're gonna get into some of our favorite tracks and then talk about how we feel about the whole thing at the end. The first song we picked, I actually would not even call this a song.
He's irritated with me.
Yeah. It's the intro, which is called Thank You, it says featuring Dave Chappelle, but it's not.
All
it's just Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll let you talk about why you like this.
So they're saying that the album itself is based around heartache because he and his wife got a divorce, and so through the whole album, before you get into that, I knew that because I have kind of been in the Anderson Paak story. Like, I know that he was homeless before he started making music, or while he was coming up. Right.
And I'm pretty sure he was homeless with his wife and his kid at that time.
Oh wow.
So I knew that he had been married for a long time. And then you've been saying he's divorced.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't know that.
It was like, it must have been right near around when he was making the album. And they said it was recent.
When I was listening to this, I thought some of the songs sounded like he's trying to seduce other women.
It's his wife.
I don't think every song is him trying to seduce his wife.
No, it's about his wife.
I don't know if
I think so.
No, I think some of these songs are like he broke up with someone and he's getting back out there. You can tell by like what he's saying.
Okay.
But I thought that was weird because I knew that he had been with this woman for a long time.
Right. Yes, he had.
So it makes sense if in the course of making this they got divorced and maybe some of the songs are about him trying to because there's a song that's literally about a one night stand on here. I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be about his wife, obviously. It would be about someone else.
Him trying to get out there again. Yeah.
So, but I was wondering if it was supposed to be strictly a concept album due to him just playing a different character, but if he was getting divorced, it makes sense as to why some of these songs would be about that.
Right.
But anyway, sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, that's fine. So, again, it's the intro. He's irritated because it's just the intro. There's no Anderson Paak whatsoever.
Anderson Paak's not even on this.
No. But, so the reason why I like it is because Dave Chappelle is basically, so the music, as we call it, the album is Why Lord, okay, which would be Why Lord, basically. Yeah. And I feel Dave Chappelle just sets the preface of this whole album. And so even though it's not a song, I just really feel that by putting him there, it definitely sets the idea, the feeling of, okay, this is what this album is all about.
What is that feeling?
Okay, so let's see. It didn't even, so like I said, I didn't even have to research the meaning. Basically what he's saying is that no one really deserves what they have. Like, you have to work for it. And he's got some great lines in there, and they're lines that we've all heard before. One is that he says, when he's walking by or whatever, he's like, there but for the grace of God goes I, being less fortunate. But yet Dave Chappelle had a period of time when he was in the pits, and he even he was just not doing well.
that was the media like saying that about him.
No, he admits. I saw a documentary about him.
I think he like was depressed.
Right.
But...
And so he's just kind of like, I get what you're feeling. I get the downness of what you're feeling. He says that in there. But then he says he also goes, there because of the grace of God goes I, because now he looks at his life and what he's accomplished, and it's like, because of God, I'm here. And I liked the vibe behind it, because the rest of the album with Anderson Paak, you get the feeling of, you know, okay, because of things that have happened in your life, you are now at a point where you are more fortunate than other people. Okay, because of God, you're now this way. But like you said, Anderson Paak obviously had a really rough life at one point, and that the two ideas behind that lead into the album. So even though it's just talking by Dave Chappelle, I got a lot out of it when I listened to the whole album.
I guess I don't know. I think I got a different message from the album.
Okay.
I felt like there was a lot of despair on this, like him like not knowing what he wants or who he is.
And that's
once again that feeds into like him being divorced at like
right.
probably like I think he's like in his late 30s,
right.
mid to late 30s.
Right.
And being with the same person for a long time who had been with him like through like some very rough times.
Yeah. Again, there, but for the grace of God goes I, you know.
But yeah, I guess I don't like. I thought a lot of lyrically, this kind of contradicts like the vibe that he gives, which is like very positive. I don't think a lot of the lyrics on this are necessarily super positive.
For me, with the Dave Chappelle
there are some
intro,
songs.
I think he's just kind of. For me, I feel like he's now saying Anderson Paak has now made it, so he's kind of able to now say, because of God, I'm going this path. So he's, you know, even though the album is a little more sad, I guess, and depressing, he's now saying, because of how you are and what you believe in, now you have more success. But you needed to have, but both of them had to happen almost in order for you to get to this point. That's what I get out of a very short intro.
You know, like leading in or going off of the idea of like you've made it, kind of feeds into like our next pick, which is one of my songs. I think it's literally the next song.
I think
it's
so too. Yeah, it is the next song. Yes.
One thing, a couple like interesting things before I get into like the meaning of this song. One of my favorite like blogs online that's like similar to like my blog. It's called Ratings Game Music. A lot of times I'll read his stuff like after I wrote mine to see, you know,
where
like,
you're both at.
You know, like how similarly like we thought.
Yeah.
One thing, and I thought this exact same thing or a very similar thing. He wrote like Anderson Paak could be like a top 5 or 10 rapper in the game if he committed himself to being a rapper.
I think he can commit himself to anything he wants.
But no, I'm saying like he would be considered one if he just made rap albums.
Yeah, because they said that about his genre, that he's also a hip hop rapper or something like that.
And this song, I think, like proves that. Like lyrically, it reminds me a lot of like Andre 3000, the way he like flows and
100%. Wow, I didn't put that in there, but yes, I see it now. Definitely,
he has to be very inspired by him.
Yes, he has to be. He really has to be.
And this is like one of those songs where it's like if he just were to make rap albums, like he would be considered up there with Kendrick, I think, because lyrically he's as good, his flow is as good,
right. And he's
like,
able to play an instrument too, which you know really throws in.
Most people can't do that.
No, I mean Kendrick Lamar, you're not seeing him do it, and I don't know if Andre 3000 can. Maybe he can. Okay, but like no, he's multi-talented, and that's really cool.
Yeah, this is a song that shows that though. Like this guy's just a very, very, very good rapper because most of the rest of this album he's singing. There are songs where he raps,
right?
But for the most part, he's singing. Yeah. So you don't even get like that side of him.
No, you don't.
But you get it on the first song. But leading into that idea of like he's made it, there's a line in here. I don't know if I'm getting it word for word, but it's kind of like why would I do a versus? I just did the Super Bowl.
Right.
And,
he brings that up. Yep.
Yeah, and do you know what Versus is? They're bringing it back. For a while they had it on Twitter or X. It would be like head-to-head battles between artists. Like I know, like I think like Ludacris and Nelly did one where they're literally like playing their hits to each other, and like
that's cool.
online people are voting for like which was the biggest song.
That's cool. That's cool.
And
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, there's some good ones. Like I said, I think they're bringing them back, and like they've like tried to get him to do it multiple times with like other artists from this time period.
Right.
But he's saying like, why would I do? I'm already bigger than all these people. I just did the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like,
he did. And for those who don't know, he played when Eminem did Lose Yourself. He was part of that collaboration.
So he must have been recording this around that time.
Right.
Which does feed into the idea that this album took a little while to make, and maybe he was going through the process of that divorce.
Right.
Because the beginning of the album, to me, it does sound like he's singing about one woman, and then when as it moves on, I feel like he's not.
Right, like he's trying to move on, and so he's talking about other women.
Yeah. As far as like the instrumental for 86 Centra, it's probably like one of the more like stripped back ones. Yeah. It's good. It's just like a laid back jazzy hip hop or like early 2000s style instrumental. But it puts most of the focus on Anderson Paak, and I think he sets like a cool tone for this record that's like kind of like in your face a little bit.
Right, I agree.
That's one of the I don't know. That's the reason I picked 86 Centra. I think it's a really good like intro.
People are considering this to be the best song on the album. Actually, they're like that. You got that, but they're like the first song, and this is like I read multiple things. They're saying that this is probably the banger one that not that it has to be I don't know, was it put out there?
I think it was a single.
Yeah, I think it was a single too, but people really like that song.
Well, it like I said, it sets a good tone, and you don't get a lot of rapping like this from Anderson Paak anymore.
Right.
Early in his career, I think the Nxwledge has a lot more because he was doing that a lot more back then. So like you get a little taste of that again from this song.
Okay.
The next one we picked is Keep Her with Thundercat. And there's like a main reason I picked this one. And it's because like normally when you think of Thundercat, if you're thinking that song's gonna have some extremely weird groovy bass line. I know you've like heard music with Thundercat in it.
Right. I always think of too, you would never know this, the show He-Man actually had Thundercat as part of its thing. So I always think of Thundercat, like that kind of thing.
Like, for as far as music goes, you would expect something like funkadelic, like George Clinton-esque. Because that's like literally what he's like trying to do.
George Clinton.
But, I mean, I would say that would be Thundercat's biggest inspiration.
Yes, definitely.
But this song is not, like, it does have, like, a groovy bass line that I'm sure Thundercat is the one playing it. But that's not, like, the focus of the song.
No.
Instead, it's mainly Thundercat's vocals, which are very nice.
Right.
I like the way he, like, contrasts Anderson Paak's vocals on this song. Like, Anderson has this, like, more, like, raspy...
Yes.
I would, like, weirdly, the way he talks, it almost reminds me of, like, Steve-O. It's like the Steve-O version of
He's
like
gonna be
singing
doing
and
all
rapping.
these stunts.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, I can't even do it.
Oh no! Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
But Thundercat has a very like clear voice.
Yes, definitely.
But usually the focus isn't on his vocals.
That's what you said.
Yeah, but on this song it is. And as far as like the instrumental, this one, I mean, it's fine. It's just like a laid back, like a jazzy R&B, like like you imagine someone singing this in a jazz club type thing. Yep. But one of the main reason I like this one is because Thundercat like shows like how nice of a vocalist he can be.
That's good.
And this song like once again like feeds into the idea that I didn't know about him like getting this divorce. Like he's singing about like trying to win someone back. Well, both of them are.
There you go.
And like this must have been at the point where Anderson thought that like they could like make it work.
Right. Get back together.
But obviously that didn't end up happening.
No, right.
But that's Keep Her with Thundercat. The next one we picked is Daydreaming. I would have picked this one if you didn't, but this is technically one of your picks.
Right,
so.
Right. I said you have, for me, I'm starting right off with the beat of the song, not even what it's about, just the beat itself.
One thing I would say is this one, like if you can think of the term, or if you like think of the term earworm,
okay,
like that's what I think this song is.
Yeah,
like
I'm
it's
getting it
stuck
in my head right
now.
I know. That's funny. So I said it's definitely a song to sway to while you're just kind of like, again, sitting in that jazz club booth or whatever. Our riff at the end of the song is amazing. I mean, I don't know who's playing it, but it's great.
Yeah, it's probably really one of the better parts.
Yeah, definitely. There's
I would
a lot.
think it might be Knxwledge.
Oh, okay. The instrumental, I really love the instrumental on this song.
It might be the best one, or one of the best.
With instrumental, I agree with you. Because like I said, that was the first thing that came to my mind right away.
I think when I was writing about it, I said, like, there was, like, some songs where, like, I picked them because I like Anderson Paak, and this one I think I picked because of the instrumental.
Right. Or it's great instrumental. So it's about a person loving someone and hoping they feel the same way. So again, whether that's about the divorce or whether that's about him trying to find someone new,
yeah.
you know, hoping that thing. It reminds me a little bit of Billie Eilish's theme in Hit Me Hard and Soft, because she talks a lot about, or sings a lot about, you know, I really like this person and I hope they're liking me as well. So I really got that vibe. It's needing to know his love is real by wanting the other person to express their feelings. So it's like, I really love you, but I don't know if you love me, so I need you to express to me, like, the feeling behind it. Like, for example, he sings about, you know, getting a key, you know, giving me a key, and that to him would mean, like, oh, okay, you must really like me if you gave me the key. Let's see, daydreaming when I met you, can't forget you, kiss me, let me know it's real, all right? I'll be outside underneath the balcony, knew you was mine when you threw down the key, completely reminded me of Rapunzel. Like, Rapunzel, let down your hair, because then that meant that she was expressing how, you know, her feelings as well. Have you seen the video for this?
I actually don't think I have.
So the video was made by Knxwledge, and it was his first time ever directing a video, and you're going to like this. He uses the editing tools from Grand Theft Auto 5. So when you watch it, it's like, it's from a video. It's like you can see that he edited it based on a video game. It's really cool. You've got to watch it. I really like it a lot.
It's a pretty popular style.
Yeah, and you know, with the way this song is, you would think that it would be more just showing Anderson Paak, but it's like kind of like, you know, he's, you know, thing, and it's not him doing it. It's just, you know, that's the way Knxwledge edited it. So It's really cool. It's a cool video.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess that's Daydreamin'. Although, you know, I will say, like I said, I really like the instrumental for this one. I really like Anderson Paak's vocals on it, too.
A lot. Again, it's the earworm right now.
Yeah, it just gets stuck in your head.
It's in my head right now.
Yeah. This is one I, like, downloaded right away. Mm-hmm. You know, I really like this one.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like I said, that's Daydreamin'. The next song we picked is From Here with Snoop Dogg and October London. That was another one of my mom's picks. I do like this one a lot as well. Mm-hmm. Although, for me, the Snoop Dogg part is okay.
I agree.
But the reason I like this one is because of October London, actually, who I didn't know who that was before this.
I didn't either. So I started off with, it starts off with October London's voice. And he has a higher voice, but it's really cool. Again, I'm starting off right now with the sounds of it. You know, normally I talk about the theme behind it. The sound of this is just, it's really beautiful.
Really pretty. It almost is like pretty operatic a little bit. Yes,
definitely. I agree with you on that. The theme, where do I go from here after heartbreak? So I think this one is really talking about the divorce. A lot.
It must be.
Yep. So one of the lyrics is, where do I go to? Where do I go to now? So it's just kind of like him saying, well, what am I supposed to do without you now? Like, really, what am I supposed to do? We've been together forever. What am I supposed to do? Snoop has an interesting thing. So he kind of puts a weird twist on it, because Anderson Paak is talking about, what am I going to do? You're not here. and all that kind of stuff. And then Snoop comes in with a different perspective. And he's like, they say the worst thing that can happen to a man is coming home to an empty bed, but I beg to differ. So basically, in that sense, it's that bed can always be filled by someone else. But the next part is interesting, and it made me wonder if this actually happened to him at some point, because it says, I say the worst thing that can happen to a man is if his lady gets up and changes the locks and puts all his clothes on the front door. And that made me think. Line. I know, it made me think, did that happen to you? Is that what really happened? And it's the relation. It's kind of like by saying that, it's like the relationship is finalized.
Yeah,
like that's it. It's over.
Yeah, she's not gonna respond to you anymore.
Right, but that line in itself was like, she changes the locks and puts all your stuff out there. That's it. It's over. There's no going back.
So this song and the other one, I'm blanking. There's another one that features October London.
Okay.
Those songs made me want to look up this guy.
Right.
Because I would say I like his vocals as much as anything on this record.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I don't even think I remember Anderson Paak's performance from this song that much.
No.
I remember October London
100%.
instead.
100%.
And his vocals fit really well on Knxwledge's production.
Right.
That's from here with October London and Snoop Dogg. The last song we picked is Walked On By, and that's featuring Earl Sweatshirt, who I mentioned earlier. That's the guy who kind of helped put Anderson Paak on.
Right.
If you don't know who Earl is, he's was a part of Tyler the Creator's Odd Future crew.
Okay.
But he kind of distanced himself because he didn't want to make that style of mainstream rap music. Okay. I think you would actually like Earl's music. I mean, you heard that's kind of the way he raps on this song.
Right.
It's a very off-kilter style, and he usually goes over these style of jazzy beats. That's Earl's style.
And I think with going along with that jazzy beat, I think of and I don't know who the singer is, but it's Walk On By. That's the same
it's
sound
probably
to it.
Inspired by that.
Yeah, you have to wonder, because that just can't. That's a very jazzy song too.
But yeah, Anderson Paak sounds good on Walked On By. I really like how smooth his vocals are. But I think most of the focus is actually on Earl, because his verse really contrasts, or his style of rapping really contrasts the smoothness of the rest of the song and the rest of this album.
Right.
I like the weird grainy texture, and he's known for doing that, really contrasting and almost biting a softer sound.
Right.
And it sounds really cool on Walked On By. Although the hook on Walked On By to me is one of the most memorable ones on the album too. Okay. Similar to Daydreaming.
Right.
Where it's just one that'll get stuck in your head. This one feels a little bit more. I think I wrote almost reggae, a little islandy to me.
Yes, I can.
As far as or compared to some of the other stuff. I think they actually mentioned
that in some of the reviews I saw, that they felt it had that vibe to it.
Yeah, almost you're sitting on a beach, listening to this kind of music. It's super warm. It reminds me of a sunset, which I really like. As far as Walked On By, as far as the lyrics to this one go. It's obviously about seeing meeting someone new and trying to get their attention. A potential significant other, which feeds into the fact of him Anderson Paak trying to get out there again.
Right.
And I don't know what Earl Sweatshirt's situation is when it comes to that, but his verse does also feed into that idea.
Correct.
But, I really liked I think Walked On By is definitely a highlight for me. I think this was a single, and 86 Central people really liked this one.
Okay.
And to me, it's mainly because of Earl, because, Anderson does well, and the instrumental is nice, but I think Earl's verse, really puts this one over the top.
Okay.
And this is one of the last songs in the album, so it kind of, sends the album off on a little bit of a... I want to say negative note, but not not so sure.
Right, because in the first one, it's like the first album, yes, yes, Lord. It's like yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I haven't listened to it, but yes, things are going. But this one, it's why. So throwing it out there that way is him still just going why.
Yeah,
why?
I don't really know why like things are going, but now I just have to deal with it.
Yep.
That's life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those were our favorite songs from Nxworries is Why Lod. It's funny, I want to see Anderson Paak and Knxwledge, but they are called Nxworries when they're together.
And if you see, it's NX and then worries. So when I found it meant no worries, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, because Knxwledge's name is stylized that way too.
Mm-hmm.
But before I get into how I feel about it, I'll let you talk about what you thought of it.
So I really find it interesting that you and I are talking about the other people who were part of the songs. So like,
I will say, I think that's a theme for a lot of Anderson Paak's music. Not like, and this isn't knocking him at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's very good at like creating a soundscape that like highlights the people he brings in.
Right.
Who's weirdly similar to that, although like makes a completely different style of music, is Travis Scott.
Yes.
A lot of times, they're actually in the song Sicko Mode, he literally says, sorry, this is a tangent, like, who put this shit together, I'm the glue.
Right.
And that's what Travis Scott's known for, because he's like not like really that great of a lyricist. His vocals are okay, like they're good, but he's able to get all these cool artists on these songs to make this super interesting
the song
thing
better.
Yeah. And Anderson Paak is phenomenal at that too.
Yes.
Like in the Bruno Mars album he did, like the focus is on Bruno Mars. It feels like he's the lead artist.
Right.
But he's the one doing the drumming, and like he contributes to it.
Exactly. So again, going back to that, I know the intro is just the intro, but it starts with Dave Chappelle, which hooks me in. Daydreamin' is a song that I just like, but then in the end, like October London's voice really came through beautifully on more than one song.
We didn't pick either of these songs, but there's a couple with an artist called Ray Khalil. I really like her vocals on this too.
And SZA, he does with her. He does her.
She has a very nice verse on this.
Right. So
Earl Sweatshirt.
Yes. So for me, he's good. I mean, he's good. He's talented. But like you just said, the fact that he's bringing other people in who he knows will make the song better and the album better, that's what got me to like it more. Were the other people.
What's interesting about it, though, is like on the few moments where he actually like shows his talent, like 86 Centra or even on Daydreamin'.
Right.
You can tell this guy is very talented.
He's very talented.
Yeah.
Right. It's just when he brings in those other people. So for me, it's a lot more about the other people and how he brought in good collaborators. So I would personally give this, like, if I were to give it just to him, I would give it a 7. But because he brings in the other people, I would give it a 7.5.
Well, I don't think it's like necessarily like his album. To me, it almost feels more like a Knxwledge album than an Anderson Paak. He's on every song.
That's true. It's Nxworries. But again, like I said, with him, just without the people, I gave it a 7. Like if you weren't thinking about the people, but having the people on there, I could almost go to a 7.5 to 8 on that part.
I really like the way this album flows together. It's one of those where every song seamlessly transitions into the next one perfectly. Actually, weirdly, I'll mention it after this. There's another album that came out recently that's like that, that you would not expect to be that way at all. But anyway, that's one I could imagine someone like literally listening to Anderson Paak and Knxwledge just like sing this for me, like in like a pretty like intimate like setting, like a small stage. That's very cool. And maybe even get like the guests in there too.
Yes.
The moments where like Anderson Paak does like show off his talents. I think he shines,
Yes.
like on songs like Daydreamin' and Ace, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree, a lot of my favorite moments, you know, I picked the one with Thundercat, are
Mhm.
moments where our other artists kind of come in and like show themselves too.
Yes.
Especially in this style of music, where like you wouldn't expect to hear. I mean, I guess Thundercat makes jazzy music, but like not like this kind of like softer
Okay.
style of music. Or
So what did you give it?
I gave it like an 8 when I wrote about it.
Okay.
Like, I think it's just good for what it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, it's not like the most exceptional thing I'm gonna hear. It doesn't really
Correct.
push any boundaries.
Correct. Yeah.
But it's definitely very enjoyable for what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's how we feel about Anderson Paak and Knxwledge's Why Laud, otherwise known as Nxworries.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, or I guess this week, next week, we're going into some more R&B, but it's a slightly older record by an artist who's trending right now.
Right.
Because
That's
they
what
have
you
a
said.
new album coming out soon, so I wanted to show you this one first.
The album cover reminded me of like a Miley Cyrus cover that she once had. It's like almost the same vibe to it. So
I think
liked
the style of, I think it reminded me a lot of like Sierra or something like that.
Right.
Which she's probably inspired by.
Oh, definitely.
But,
we won't tell you who yet.
Yeah, although you can probably guess. But yeah, that's Why Laud by Nxworries, and I'm Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
We're Eastside Vibes, and thanks for watching.
Bye.